Segmentation. I think this is one of the best ACCA SBL technical articles. It's full of really interesting real-world stuff. And we're going to be covering in this edition how it's going to be examined for you. Some great actions that you need to take. So we'll follow our usual format. Andrew's going to give this a bit of a 2-minute summary. So you know all of the key things that are important to learn about this article. I'm going to cover how it's been tested in the past and how it's likely to be tested in the future. Then we're going to have some actions for you, things that you need to do as a result of this technical article. And then at the end, a little bit of a summary and the Club SBL rating of this article. And sneak peek, it's going to be a high one. We like this article. So Andrew, over to you for the 2-minute summary.
All right, you got your timer ready? 2 minutes, this article. So this is actually quite a short one, just over 1,000 words, this one, which by ACCA standards is short. So 2 minutes, not a problem. Right, it starts off by talking about why is market segmentation important? Just talking about attraction of new customers and also customer retention. A bit of background, fine. It then talks about market segmentation versus customer segmentation.
Hold on, doesn't it start off by saying what it is?
A little bit, but it's a little bit general. But yeah, a little bit around what it is, bit of background stuff. But yeah, it then sort of goes quite quickly into why it's important and the differences between those. So yeah, market segmentation versus customer segmentation.
Yeah, what is it?
Subtle. Market is more like looking at the entire market. So, you know, we're based in the UK, all of the UK market and how you can segment that, split it up into little groups.
Chop it into bits.
Chop it into bits.
By geography
and then,
or...
Yeah, geography, age, all those, which we'll come on to in a minute. Don't ruin the surprise. But the next customer segmentation is looking at your existing customer base and then breaking them up into little groups and then targeting them. So it's probably more about retention, like keeping those existing customers.
Feels like split hairs to me. The wider market versus your customers. It's all just a way of saying, let's understand them better by looking at the characteristics they have. Is that right?
If you're doing that anyway, like knowing your own customers is then going to help market to the wider market as well, isn't it?
Totally.
So now the market segmentation bit I quite like. Gives you some examples of like soft drink companies and how they split it and how they focus then on the products that they sell. There's a bit about media companies and how they promote. I like the example there about daytime TV viewers will get different adverts compared to someone like an online gamer. So if you're watching TV in the middle of the day, generally you might be retired or you might
careful
just be,
here.
I know, but this is the advertising companies. This isn't me, and love a bit of daytime TV. But I mean, you watch the Countdown is a program in the UK which is about numbers and words. Again, a massive stereotype, but the audience tends to be a little bit older. The adverts in those are they're for stair lifts and for hearing aids. Whereas if you're an online gamer and you're playing, some game and you get an advert break, it's not going to be for a stair lift, is it? It's going to be for a different game probably, or some sort of I don't know, headset or something.
Monster
that you might
drink or whatever that. Like
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, much better example.
Yeah.
It talks about how retailers use it, also how pricing can benefit as well from segmentation. So offering different prices to different segments. So we're sort of getting into the 4 Ps here, aren't we, of marketing within segmentation, which is really useful. So think about product, price, promotion, and place, and segmenting it like that. So some interesting points around that.
I interrupted you, but this is way more than 2 minutes, Ru.
And we had a little chat in there, didn't we? I'm just gonna finish off the last bit. There's types of market segmentation, such as demographic, behavioural, geographic, and then this psychographic. So things like people's personality. So that's how these different ways of segmenting people and splitting them up. And it finishes with 6 benefits of market segmentation, which again, quite interesting, could be useful in the exam. So I went over, but you interrupted me.
I did, so I'll let you off on that one. So my bit here is, how is it examined? Let's talk about the past, how it has been examined. And it came up in 2021, and it was all about the value of doing customer segmentation. So for the case study company, which was it was a media company of some sort, wasn't it?
This one was fitness and leisure clubs, Optima Leisure. This was,
and it was all about the value of doing customer segmentation. Should they do it? And what would the benefits be? And you could kind of go, oh, great! If I'd read this technical article, it's got 6 benefits listed at the back of the article. I could just write about that. But obviously, in SBL, you only ever score marks if your answer is tailored to the actual case study and the specific question that's asked. So it wouldn't be about having memorized this article, regurgitating it. It's about using your kind of knowledge of customer segmentation, of what it is as a concept, but then really applying it to the case study and going, this is what I know about this company's customer groups. Now, interestingly, I'm going to ask you a question, Andrew. When do you think this technical article was published?
Good question. There's not much. I mean, when you think about aging stuff, it's usually about technology gives it away. Nothing about AI, nothing really even about social media, which indicates to me this is a bit older.
Okay.
I'm going to guess it's adapted from a past variation of SBL. 2015 is my guess.
Okay, you are wrong. And I actually gave you a clue and you didn't run with it. So this was tested in September, December 2021.
Oh, well,
so the article was published not long before that, late 2020/early 2021, which shows you what happens with these technical articles. A little bit of like when they're newly published, it's showing you it's at the front of the examiner's mind and therefore more likely to be tested. Cool. Okay, so that's how it's been examined in the past. And I could see it being tested in the same way in the future. They're not going to ask you, have you learned the article? Can you give me a definition of customer segmentation? It's going to be some sort of applied task around a new strategy where we're perhaps going to target a new different customer group, and could it be successful? Or like it has been examined in the past, should we use customer segmentation? What would be the value for us as a business? Andrew, over to you for the actions. What should students do?
So actions for you as a result of this technical article. Firstly, when your pre-scene gets released for your exam 2 weeks before your actual exam date, think about the customer base and think, could they use this? Would this be beneficial? So they are obviously a key stakeholder for any company. So how could they group them up? And would segmentation make sense? I've seen loads of cases in the past where this would be really valuable to them. And think about, there's a list in the article that you could look at. So think about how they could split by demographic, by geographical location, by their behavioural stuff as well. So useful in terms of analysing that and then the benefits to the company. But also I find this stuff really interesting. And we always say, immerse yourself in SBL, like live it while you're studying it, because it makes it a lot more fun.
Totally.
Challenge for you next time, Ben, you go to the supermarket. I know you like an online delivery, but next time you venture into a supermarket, have a look at the toiletries aisle. And there's a great video on YouTube, which I love, about gender segmentation and how it's ridiculous that we're being sold to, as men, different products from women when it's doing the same thing. Even a bar of soap for a man will be in a grey box and it has square edges because we're men and we've got square things and we're strong, whereas women have these nice curved edges because they couldn't possibly hold a bar of soap that's square, which is ridiculous, isn't it? But it's how it works. And we're saying about with shower gel, the women's one will be pink and floral, whereas men, oh no, couldn't possibly use it. If I use that by mistake, honestly, I have to then have 2 more showers. Rewash because I couldn't possibly smell like that. I need to smell like man. And it's crazy, but that's how they do it, because
they're doing it because they make more money.
They make more money. We're more likely to buy that product, and women are more likely to buy that product, apparently. So it's a crazy world. But have a look. Think about how companies are actually using segmentation, and it's a great thing to do.
Nice. Okay, on to the rating then. So before we give you the rating, we'll just summarise slightly what we liked and didn't like about the article. Now, I think it had some really quite nice examples and varied examples around like media, insurance companies, retailers, about how they use segmentation. That's in the kind of second bit of the article. I like that, but I also think it's a bit out of date, this article. There's nothing about like social media in here and understanding your customers through the way that they behave on social media and advertising in that space. It just feels a bit outdated and like it could do with an update. So if the SBL examiner is watching this, then you probably need to get a bit more modern stuff in.
That's why I said 2015, because I was thinking even 2021 when this was actually published, like social media was pretty big in 2021. So that was why I was a bit
it's almost like the SBL examiner doesn't really, social media is not their thing.
Yeah, maybe
at a certain age.
Who knows? Yeah. The other good thing about this article, there's lots of, the structure's clear. It's like how to split it. Then the benefits. It's really like for students, some articles are a bit like, there's loads of really research-based stuff, but doesn't really directly help students. But
this is actually nice and structured, takes you through. And it doesn't go too much into like massive detail on any one example, which I think's good because, it's encouraging kind of wider thought. It does have some technical language in it, which I don't really, it uses words like homogeneous when, are you just trying to sound clever? So
Yeah,
don't write like that in the exam. We don't want to use it. Use a simple term that means the same thing,
yeah.
like homogeneous meaning same. So say same rather than homogeneous.
One of your big things when we're training our students in Club SBL is all about tips like that, isn't it? Using simple words.
Simple language.
Homogeneous takes longer to write than same. And
and you don't sound clever.
You don't sound clever.
Or you don't earn any more marks.
I'd probably spell it wrong anyway. So it's much safer to do that. So definitely a good tip.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Overall
rating, I think 8. Gonna give it an
8. Okay, I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'd go with 8 as well. I think. Yeah. Really good one.
Yeah, this is a pretty decent one. Definitely worth a read and worth thinking about more widely. I love Andrew's gender stereotyping one, which is a really good example. And there's loads of others. If you do a bit of Googling about segmentation going wrong, Snapchat, there's a really good example of where it went wrong for them. Coke, there's another really good one for you to look up as well. Another couple of things to do. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions about this technical article, post them in the comments and we're very, very happy to answer. And we're going to be producing loads more of these technical article explainers and other free content for SBL. So give us a follow and you'll get notified when we release more great content for you.